Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Or what is it? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and gals, and our non-binary pals, guess what time it is? It's time for us to do an episode of the VOD. My favorite show, the greatest Twitch show on Earth. And am I the only one who can substantiate that claim? Yes. But if I can't substantiate that claim, how can anyone else do it? So, let's get into it, shall we? What is going on, guys? Pardon me if my voice sounds a little funky, a little weird. Currently, I'm trying to make sure I am fighting off I'm trying to take care of myself, and I don't know if it's just allergies. My voice just be a little funky, a little weird. You know, it is what it is. So popping into just got home from work. That's good and all, but that's awesome. We should talk about that a little later. But that's you enjoy your lurk, friend. But yeah, like sinuses and all that. Sinuses, my throat's a little dry, all that. So yeah, let's just thank you, Ghost. I am taking care of myself. I'm trying all that I can. So I have slowly adopted, like, until I leave for my trip next month, I've slowly adopted the feeling of I don't mind not like doing anything in my spare time. I will just sleep and just drink plenty of fluids and take care of myself that way. And that's just the best thing I can do right now. So, but I'm gonna try and keep this my introduction short today because we're only doing about an hour-long show today. And I don't want to take it away any of our time from our wonderful guest. So, I'll say two quick things and then we'll get into it. The first thing is that for those wanting to participate in the radio show that I'm doing, though I'm getting those made right now. I should hopefully have them done by next week. And yeah, that's just it. I got a lot on my plate at the moment, doing full-time work, doing another part-time job, being a part-time student, and then doing this on top of it. So a lot of things. I'm trying to get as much money as I can. I'm actually working overtime now. So I'm trying to work as much as I can before I leave on my trip next month. So but fret not, I'm not getting burnt out of streaming. I just know when to stream and when not to. So, and thankfully I have those days where I don't go to work. So, we have those. The other thing is that going forward, the VOD, in case you missed it, the VOD will only have one episode a week if I can. If I can, maybe two, but for now it's just one episode a week. It'll just be earlier in the week as well. So expect that. But yeah, without further ado, why don't we continue and get into this? So, today, we'll be welcoming an NPC arriving on the scene. He dabbles in a wide variety of games, from fighting games to metroidvanias, which we'll definitely have to talk about. I'm a big fighting game guy, as you guys know. A passionate fan of indie games and a recent spellslinger to the game of MTG, Magic the Gathering. I've talked about my feelings about Magic the Gathering. I know how to play Magic. I've played plenty of Magic. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh guy, so this will be an interesting conversation. Still evolving to become better. Please welcome our guest today, Slurmpa. Hello.
Hello.
What is going on, friendo?
What is going on is that I'm on the most wonderful show of all time.
You know what? I have the most wonderful guest with us today.
Oh my god. It seems like we're just the best situation possible.
It just happened to work out. Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty damn good today. I am looking at my camera and making sure my model doesn't freak out because it tends to do that. But today has been pretty good. Yeah.
To be fair, we had Desync on the show, and I don't think any model could freak out worse than his.
Oh, that's valid. I gotta drop by more of his streams. He always has very creative ideas as well for his streaming.
Yeah,
I admire him.
Desync kind of took over the show, and just at that point, like, those who saw it, that first like 15 to 20 minutes was just absolute chaos. So much so it crashed my stream and I had to restart my PC because of it. And so I ended up going live a second time right after that. And all I gotta say is really troubleshoot and make sure you're getting your things in order before you do things, before you go live.
Mm,
And so because
yeah,
apparently
yeah.
I wanted to share he wanted to mess around with his um, model in real time. And so I was sharing my screen, my video here. I was sharing it to Discord, but because of that, I guess it was just causing so much problems that it just so much latency and lag that just destroyed everything. But
That's a very bold move.
it happens. Look, it happens. So,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, enough about desync. Well, there's a wonderful guest. He's a past guest, and we are having our current guest. So, before we go any further, it's time for me to ask my first and, in my opinion, my most important question. That is, Slurmpa, who are you, and what is your story?
What is my story? My name is Slurmpa. I'm a former. I used to stream a lot more, but now I stream part time. Um, more streaming whenever I can. More of a hobby streamer rather than anything. My story. I started off last year around September. I'm currently using this free to use model, and the current idea, the idea I have using this model was to try and be an inspiration to others, because this model is an NPC. Like we've covered that. That is the deal for now.
Yeah.
But my idea was that a lot of people don't realize how wonderful they actually are on the inside, and I kind of want to show by putting myself as an NPC, kind of like the everyday man, the standard like uninspiring thing, that even with this model you can go out and you can garner attention and you can make connections and you can do your best in the streaming environment.
Oh yeah. I know exactly how you feel. When I first started streaming, I bring wiggles, I be lurking, but I am here. Aw, thanks, Mikey. I appreciate that. Don't forget to use the lurk command, because that will guarantee you get Dr. Pepper when you lurk. I mean, I'm drinking a can of Mountain Dew Baja Blast zero sugar soda right now. That's a mouthful.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
Lately, I have found I like zero sugar soda a lot. Like, so on a side note, on a tangent, like an anime protagonist, isekai anime, you want to be the face that anyone can use. I think
Basically.
that'd be an appropriate description. Aw, that's awesome, Nina. I'm doing good. I'm eepy and I'm tired, but I will always have the energy for this show and to talk to you and everyone else in chat. The end of the show, perhaps I'll bust out the Cookie Val. So talking about soda, I just want to. This was something I thought of, like I've been thinking about very recently. I am not a big Coke soda drinker. I probably had not had Coke, like a can of Coke, in the past like year and a half, almost 2 years. And I was working on a commercial. I was working on a commercial edit for a Coke ad, and I'm like, wow, this commercial looks really good, and it's making me want to drink a Coke. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't had a Coke in a long time. Oh no, I'm sorry, Nina. Don't die. Put if you have a fan, throw a fan in front
Get
of
a
you.
fan. Get some air conditioner.
Well, air conditioning outside the U.S. is not as common, surprisingly.
Oh, that's true.
It's very interesting. And so as I got very thirsty, I'm like, you know what? I will. You don't have a fan? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Godspeed, Spider-Man. That's all I can say.
Just open the freezer and stick yourself in there.
Take a cold shower for like the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
But so I went to the store. Only a computer fan. Oof. So I pardon me. I bought the Coca-Cola, and I had it, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot that this is pretty good to have when it's like really nice and cold. I'm like, oh man, this is delicious, and I'm liking it. You know, it's very sugary, and so it's not my like it's so much sugar in it. I just don't like it. But you know, like once in a while, it tastes really good, and so after that for the next few days, I'm like, oh man, I want to have another Coke. Like I was thinking about it. I'm like, man, I really want to have another one. I want to have but I just don't get it. I'm not getting it, and so I'm just drinking like water or drinking something else. But I'm just like, man, I could really go for a Coke right now. It's just like, if you ever think about how strong, how powerful the addiction of soda is, and especially something like Coca-Cola, it's very strong.
See, I have a different situation because I don't know what it was, but I never liked soda. I think it was because my tongue was sensitive. So for the carbonation, it always ruined it for me.
Really?
Yeah. So I got very lucky because later down in life, when I was a bit more on the chunky side, as one might say,
Yeah.
I got into a sport. I got into wrestling, and my coach, the very first thing he said was like, "You gotta work hard. You gotta train every day, and no more soda." And I'm like, I already got that covered. Now I just gotta go through it.
Yeah, it's a rough one. At least for me, I drink a lot more water these days, and if I'm drinking soda, I'm typically drinking diet, or I'm drinking zero sugar soda. But even then,
That's very good.
like I prefer carbonated water, like flavored carbonated water, like you know,
Like
just
what was it? Liquid Death? Is that what it's called?
no, like just like a club soda, or like like a
Oh,
Perrier.
oh,
You know,
sorry,
just
no, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Sorry, no, uh, I always saw the brand Liquid Death around, and I was very intrigued by it because a lot of people, I am on the Hydro Homie subreddit. I just like it because hydration is a very important thing for a lot
uh
of people, and I feel it's neglected. But I always see it around. I have no idea what it is, but I know it's carbonated.
oh.
Um,
Sorry, anytime I hear Hydro Homie, I've been around Reddit a very long time, and I just remember what his name was before it was Hydro Homie.
uh, I don't know who you're
I'm not going
talking
to
about.
say it.
Okay.
So, yeah, so, yeah, don't, try not to drink soda, kids. That's my message
No,
for
don't
today.
drink soda.
No, you
Drink water.
can drink soda,
And
just drink it in moderation, like anything.
yes.
Soda's fine
Be
to
smart
have.
about it.
Soda's fine, like, for me, I don't, what's really funny is, I don't eat candy as much as I, like, maybe, like, once every, like, 2 or 3 months I'll have like a sugar candy, like sour gummy worms or something. But other than that, I don't eat them.
Yeah.
It's like they're good to have once in a while, you know, but don't have them like every day because it's not good.
Don't have them constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that you can't make faces up, so that means that if you ever have those dreams where you marry someone and grow older, you probably sell them somewhere. True, real.
Absolutely real.
So
I actually don't dream that much. Strangely enough, and whenever I do dream, it's usually when I'm really stressed out. So I now have a negative connotation whenever I think of dreams.
dreams are good. Find a way to get dreams. I don't know. That's all I gotta say. I had a wild dream. Yesterday. But I'll keep it to myself. There's nothing.
I mean, if you
No,
want, we could do an exchange.
no, that's fine. It was like, it was nothing bad. It was just like it was just wild, like, you know, just dreams that just don't make sense, kind of thing.
Oh, dude, is it alright if I read one of mine then?
You're more than welcome to do that.
All right. Okay. So this was like a couple, like 11 days ago.
Sure.
And I wrote this immediately, and I didn't finish writing it, so we'll never know the end. But I was in Europe somewhere, waiting for my dad to finish some business, you know, exchanging currency and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
When all of a sudden, a random white guy comes through being led by a tour guide, you know. The tour guide leaves for a bit because taking care of the trip and making sure of arrangements for the tour. And I moved to give that guy a seat. I don't know why he was significant at the moment, but he's wearing a hat and he sits down and he has a camera on the hat. And for some reason, in my head, I was like, that's Sea-Dog VA. I know who that is now. It clicked in my head. So I went and asked him if I could get an autograph. But instead, he was like, yeah, let me just take a picture of you or something. Or let's take a picture together. And he took a picture of just me. And the camera returned the photo. But the photo was of like two rats fused together. And he was caught off guard. I was caught off guard. And he was like, wait a minute. Let me just change something. And he fiddled with the camera. And that's where I stopped writing. So we'll never know the end of that story.
He said, sorry, we're not on squeaking terms.
We're...
I freaking love that picture. I saw it recently on Twitter.
Oh, that's a wonderful image.
No, Nita, no
I
very
love
yummy rats. We're not eating rats. Rats are friends. We had Mercury on the show. Yeah, no, it's interesting going back to the faces thing. Because when you talked about having oh, thank you for the Dr. Pepper grease, I appreciate that. Going back to the whole concept of having a model that can really adapt and just be present for just however you want, kind of be that inspiration. President Val, no, that's not me. I'm just a little guy. Oh my gosh. Final drink. That's a very aggressive slurp.
I will also drink a little bit.
That was a very aggressive slurp. But when I first started VTubing last year in I started VTubing in September 2nd, I want to say, was when September 2nd or September 1st was when I started streaming. And you are tweaking, brother.
Sorry. I just know. I looked back and I noticed it going nuts.
You were going into the void. A face.
It should be fine now, I think.
A face that anyone can project on a blank slate, a blank canvas. That's a yes. When I first started, I made my own model. I made my own model in VC phase or VRoid, excuse me. Well, VC phase. In VRoid. And I still have it, and I make modifications to it. And at the time, I put a lot of time into making it. It doesn't look like it, but there's a lot of time put into it. Not only with the creation of my face and the hair and all that, but also with the facial features. Like, there's a lot of things that I wanted to make sure I do. Is dude okay? Models coming in and out of existence? Yeah.
I'm fine. I just occasionally glitch into the void.
Like, I'm sure I could bring it out for those that may not have seen it. Let's see. Let's get rid of that for a moment. It's been a little bit since I've used this guy.
Why is my camera freaking out? Sorry.
Because. Don't mind me, guys, as I show my IP address on stream.
Make sure to include your mother's maiden name as well.
Never. I want to get it to work. I guess this is why I stopped using VC Face and I stopped using my VRoid model. It's not the only reason. Where is it? If I create a new one. Oh my gosh, it's so big! No!
Oh my god. Oh my god! Oh!
It's okay. Well, I don't know why it's so big like that. VC Face. How do I fix it? How do I fix it? Please! No! Effect filters. Chroma key. custom color, select color, pick screen color, and he's gone.
Oh no.
Okay, well,
Oh
it
no.
doesn't want to work, but that guy, like,
I do see it. Yeah, I do see it.
anyway,
It's really good actually.
it makes me sad because I wanted to actually show the, like, it's the tracking that I love most of all on it because of how much time I put into fixing it in Unity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it doesn't want to work. It is what it is.
It is what it
Ah,
is. That's unfortunate.
let's get rid of this one. Where is he?
Welcome back, businessman.
Yeah, fix it, yeah. Oh, I like that level too. Is good. Aw, thanks. But the point was, I spent time and I made it by myself, and you know, I used that for a very long time. And when I used it, my whole goal was I wasn't going to buy a model with my own money. I was going to, if I was gonna get a new model, I was going to use only the money that I earned from streaming. And that's what I ended up doing. Is once I got to affiliate, once I was able to start making money and, you know, ads and bits and subs and all that, I was able to get my first 2D model, which I don't use. It was more, I got it because I wanted to test the artist and see what all they would like, what all they can do and how they can do it. And after that, I got this one, which I got this one for the VOD season 2,
Ah,
which I love. It's awesome. It's so
it's
awesome.
very good.
And so, like I said, the point about the whole thing is I wanted to sort of, anytime I got a new model, I wanted it to be made, or I wanted it to be created, and I wanted to be achieved through strictly money I made from streaming. My gosh, my computer's going nuts. And so, like, I only use this, I really only use this model for the show. And most of the time, I actually just prefer using this little guy.
Which little guy? Oh my god!
Yeah,
That's so cute.
I prefer using this one. You know, $25, beautiful.
$25. That's actually really good.
And so this Cookie Bell has effed up eyes, but it's fine. That's on purpose. That's on purpose. You know, and then,
oh my god, I love that one.
And then I have my Dr. Pepper toggle, and then I can take the glasses off. But the point being is
what kind of matching eyes there?
The funniest thing is when it does this.
Oh my
Just
god, I used to.
The eyes blink separately.
Yeah, I used to have it blink separately, but for some reason, I think my camera would detect my right eye as always closed for some reason. So when I was streaming earlier in the days, when I was streaming, my right eye on the model would freak out and it would constantly like blink. So I had to make it so that they both work together, so it didn't look like I was constantly tweaking.
So it's funny you say that, because the previous guest I had on the show, Gremlin, during the show, and he expressed his frustration about it to me prior, was how, in his own words, he said himself that he looked super Asian, in his own words, and so because of that, he said that he said that VTube Studio was racist because it constantly kept thinking that his eyes were closed when they weren't.
Here's also another factor. I'm also Asian. I'm not super, so I did struggle, but another thing is that if you're wearing glasses, it also fucks with the camera as well. So I have 2 layers of screwing with me. That's just annoying.
Technology just doesn't like to work.
Technology doesn't like you. It actually just does remind me of during college I took a course that was like ethics in technology and whatnot, and we had a small class, a short like 1 hour class where we talked about how technology was often made for the majority of the population. So
Uh-huh.
there were cases where like dish soap dispensers wouldn't see darker skin tones and whatnot. So it
Okay.
was a very interesting situation because then the question was, how do we make technology more accessible for all kinds of people?
Interesting.
It was also how can what internal biases are we not realizing when we design technology? We didn't really come up with any consensus on that, but it was a nice discussion.
Interesting. I mean, things like that are always I can only imagine just how oh. Ooh. I can only
You
imagine.
okay?
Oh, I'm just stretching. Don't worry. I can only
Oh,
imagine how hard that can be is to try it because there's so many variables that you're trying to figure out and so many variables you're trying to account for. But at the end of the day, humanity as a whole will always find some way to break something, especially when it comes to software.
that's especially valid. I feel like I had a bad run-in with technology for most of my life. Ugh, I've had a lot of like computer freakouts and phone freakouts, and honest to God, I sometimes wonder if I've been cursed
Hmm.
by a god to have technology spite me.
Oh no. Let's see. I'm going to I will create that delay. Um I heard create that delay. I will create that Dr. Pepper nuke. Because I realized that would be something fun to find, like to give people the ability for that. I was also trying to read chat. Plus, making V2 models and such is slightly intimate as well. Plus, with Val's goals for his models would make you even closer to his heart. Oh yeah, that's why I love my lore model. Um,
Mm.
but I don't use it as much. VTubing and drawings are like things like this is intimate. I'm constantly tweaking, so it's valid. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah, the tactical nuke. Yeah, that's right. That clip. That clip is legendary because that was the first time I found out that the redeems,
Yeah.
the way how it's set up, they're in a queue. Like so, for instance, right now I'm not going to do them because I don't want that to happen right now. But because I don't have it set to where the my Dr. Pepper throws, uh, like because I don't have it set to where my Dr. Pepper throws just instantly clear, uh,
Yeah.
at any point my mods can decide to hit reject all or complete all regardless,
Oh my
and it'll throw all of them at once.
Oh my god, how long is this? Oh, this is like half a minute of just throwing
Oh,
items at you.
you're taking a
I'm
look at
watching
it?
it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy
It's a
crap.
legendary clip. It
It's all from the same angle as well. Oh my god.
Yep. It's so that's the
Oh,
thing. That was my affiliate stream. That was my very first affiliate stream.
yeah.
And it's actually on YouTube, by the way. That was my very
Oh.
first affiliate stream, and at the time, like my head mod, I had set it up where when I had set up so that, you know, when somebody cheers a bit, I get Dr. Pepper thrown at me, or I get things thrown at me. And
Yeah.
so basically I think he cheered 2,500 bits, that or 2,000. Um
Wow.
and so, you know, he's one of my IRL best friends. So, you know, that's why I did
Yeah.
it. And he did that, and then he used that redeem everything setting and just redeemed all of it at once. And so, yeah, it was 2,500. And so
Oh my
that's what
god.
happened. Like, it was just a moment that will live in infamy. So much so, it's part of my channel. Um,
It is now lore. It is now canon
well,
lore.
it's a part of my um my channel trailer, so which I need to update one of these days, worth of bits. Yeah, so it's not $50. That's about $25. So, well, I don't know if they changed the prices, but if we look at bits, holy cow. Well, $20 is 1,500. That must have changed. Dang, yeah, no, they upped it.
Oh.
So back in the day, you know, it was a much better. It was more of a 1-to-1 conversion.
And now it's a bit less.
It's a bit less, but so yeah.
God damn it.
so if I had to guess, it's probably like $30.
Probably 30.
Probably 30.
That's quite a bit.
Because the thing is, if 5,000 bits is about $64, you know, then chances are it was about $30. I don't know. I don't fret too much on the details, but now I have it changed where if people cheer bits, it throws twice the amount. So if somebody did cheer 5,000 bits, it would throw 10,000 items.
Ooh.
So we would probably sit there for about 5 minutes of just being thrown things. You giving me ideas? No, Grease.
Yes, Grease, do it. Do it, Grease. Follow your instinct.
I get paid next week. Be ready. Oh no. Please be gentle.
No.
Anyway, I want to get back on track to talking about you because we have limited time.
Oh, yes. Right.
So when you came up with this idea, how are you for now? Points. You know, talking about being an NPC, having all of these different things, you know, wanting to just kind of change things. How are you doing that specifically?
What do you mean by changing things?
Well, so like you know, being an quote unquote NPC with that design, you know. Oh, hold on.
Oh God.
There we go. There we go. Sorry, I was messaging, or I was messing with my Twitch settings, and so you know.
Yeah, I just thought your model just started twitching back and forth.
Val was tweaking straight up. I'm gonna.
We be tweaking.
I'm gonna give you those back. There you go. Oh, and then you use them straight up again. Beautiful.
If you give Grease some points, you will want to throw Dr. Pepper.
Exactly. So having this pliable, malleable face, you know, how do you use it to kind of just be who you want, so to speak?
So for me, I have used it to kind of adapt to a lot of the games that I play, and I know that's not a direct answer, but stay with me here.
Okay.
So with the games, oftentimes I throw a little, I throw a little fun PNG asset onto it oftentimes, like for Magic the Gathering with the Thunder Junction. When that was out, I had like a cowboy hat and like a wizard beard. I found it really enjoyable to customize it similar to clothing. And for me, I never really had a concept of who I was. And so this blank slate face actually did work very well for me, because I was just like, I am just a guy. I'm just a little guy on the internet, you know?
Yeah.
People come and watch
I
me,
get it.
and it's fun. Yeah, but I'm not like any significant individual, and that's fine with me. I started to identify with the model as well after a bit, where I was like, yeah, no, that is just me. That is, I'm seeing the model move in reaction to me, talking at the same pace as me. That is just another version of me now, and I'm fun. Like, I came to really love the model. That being said, I am going to be changing design soon, so keep an eye out for that. But I do really love this model.
So, what do you want? Is there any point in the future where you think about wanting to like change the physical design of it, or instead of
Yeah,
just
no, I would completely be doing a rebrand, because this one is a free to use, and my major concern with free to use models is that a lot of people can end up using them. I've seen one other person use the same thing, and in VTubing, like the more unique you are, the more you will stand out, and the easier it is to boast about your design and your channel and whatnot. With this model, I feel like I didn't participate a lot in social media,
uh-huh.
um, of the VTubing section, because I was like, this wasn't my design. This was created by someone as a free to use. I could advertise it out, but also as an NPC, it felt weird putting myself out there. Like, I know that's just an internal brain thing for me, but it felt kind of awkward because there was, if when you think of an NPC, I can't really think of anything that is unique to it. Like, the base idea is bland. So I struggled a lot with the concept. I struggled a lot with how to continue with this, and I decided this is my channel. I'm streaming mainly for me at this point. So I did reach out to a friend of mine. She is currently working on the design, and once I get the character sheet, I'll start looking for a rigger, an artist, and then we will completely rebrand. But it will still be the same me, just slightly different.
Oh, so you're just gonna expand upon this design a little more?
Yeah, I have a not just no, it's gonna be completely different, but there is gonna be, I kind of want to link the two different designs in some way, and I think how I'm gonna go about it is actually similar to a cartoon character. Now that I think about it, yeah, it's gonna be similar to that. But the idea is that this current model is like stage one evolution. Like it's like a shell.
Yeah.
You have this blank face, you put it out to the world because you're afraid of what's gonna hurt you. Stage two Slurmpa is just gonna be absolutely him all the way 100%. Not gonna care about what's going on, show off who he is. So I in the future want to commission someone to do a simple animation, so that I can kind of use that as like a trend, be like a rebrand trailer. So then it would, people could know, people could get hyped about it, and then in the future we show off the new model.
Uh-huh.
People come in, we get some hype, we get a rebrand, and I get to feel pride in the design and the ideas I have for this channel.
Interesting. Now, something that's also I feel like is worth noting is how ubiquitous free free to use models are. As when you use these models, like a lot of people, at least the people I've had on my show, I've had several people on my show who use free to use models. Um,
Hmm.
and they have pretty relative success with it, where they really like it, and they're like, it just allows me to do it, I don't have to stress that much about it. And the thing is, at that point, because there's models out there that look exactly like mine, I'm setting myself apart because of my design. What's going on, Silver? I've people are there for you, and they're there for your personality, and they're not there for your model, so to speak. Um,
Mm.
Now, some of them change and tweak the model. Some of them change the hair. Some of them like to add some things. That is a one fembuck duel. That's really funny. Um, wow, Nina won it. Good job, Nina.
Hell yeah, Nina, you killing it.
So free to use models, I feel like offer just a very nice a very nice outlet to which you can break into it without having to break the bank or stress and worry. I think those free assets are really what gives people the ability to experiment and kind of bounce off of. Shinji, crick that soldier boy. You thank you, Bubbles, for that. I appreciate it. Until I get that sound redeem up, I'll always just say that. Um so, you know, with this new model that you wanted to do,
Yeah.
are you able to kind of share a snippet of what we can expect from it?
Oh God, I'm tempted to give you there's two wolves inside me right now. One is saying no, and the other one is like share everything.
Well,
Um,
I'll rephrase it like this. Will it look
yeah.
like will it have a little bit of the same qualities as this guy, so you can continue with that um purpose of being the everyman, the Twitch everyman, or are
I
you going?
I think unfortunately I am gonna drop that as part of my brand because I realized that kind of being an inspiration works better as a symbol rather than being one of the people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
like like you see people you see a lot of other streamers and they're wonderful, they do great stuff, but they're still unique in their own way, but they still inspire you. You don't need your your next door neighbor to be doing great things in order for you to be inspired. You know, it doesn't have to be someone that that you identify very closely.
Yeah.
Inspiration comes from everywhere. So I'm kind of dropping the everyman sort of thing. I'm going more for just who I think I am. Also, I'm working with the username I have
Uh-huh.
because I struggled a bit. This is a username that I've had for a while and I want to keep it. So I was like, based off of that, what design would I like? And that was where the idea started to flow. So we'll see what comes up in the future.
I think we will watch your future with great interest, if that's the case then.
Yes, yes. I'll be sure to let everyone know.
Heck yeah. So, why don't we shift topics a little bit and kind of quickly talk about what you like to stream? And
Ah,
because
yes.
specifically something that caught my attention was you like to play fighting games.
Yes.
What kind of fighting games do you like to play?
Okay, so I am relatively new to the fighting game community. Started about a couple years back. I mainly just stuck with Dragon Ball Fighter Z. That is my favorite fighting game so far.
Oh, heck yeah.
I Hell yeah. I did mess a bit around with Tekken and Guilty Gear. Both are fantastic games, don't get me wrong.
Uh-huh.
I'm just not willing to drop the big bucks for it. But if I were to choose, Guilty Gear Strive definitely
I was gonna
catches
say,
my fancy.
you can gamble percentages? What?
Wow,
I didn't even know that was a thing. Huh.
the more you know.
Interesting. Of the fighting games I play Fighters, I play Strive,
Mm,
and if I'm feeling particularly like want to bash my head into a wall, um,
okay.
I'll play something like Rivals of Aether.
Oh, I have a buddy that absolutely loves that game. I could not get into it because my first fighting game was the platform fighter Smash Brothers.
Uh-huh.
Smash Brothers Ultimate. Like I got into it. I liked playing Wii Fit Trainer because this was actually very weird. The very first night it came out, a buddy of mine had it, and I went, "Dude, let's fucking play." And he had that option. He had Wii Fit Trainer available, and I was like, "What is this? What is this creature doing here? Like, what is this NPC looking? Ironic considering what I am now, but what what is this NPC character doing here?" Tried it out. I killed it, absolutely won every match, and I went, okay, you know what? We're gonna stick with this character. And so I loved playing Wii Fit Trainer, and I continued on, and eventually I moved on to DBFZ, dabbled a bit as I mentioned before with Tekken, with Guilty Gear, and now I'm learning a bit of Third Strike because I that is a game that's heralded as kind of a fighting game classic, and I've always wanted to learn it. Went to a arcade one day, tried it out, went, you know what, this is the day. Got on Fightcade, got it set up, and then now I'm playing Dudley.
Interesting. See, I like to stick to like when I play really competitively, I play Fighters. Um,
Mm,
I've just been playing that for the past few years, and I learned from my buddy who played competitively, competed at Evo.
oh,
When
really?
his older brother is a Street Fighter world champion.
Oh,
Um,
oh my god. I stand in the presence of God.
uh, and so, like, when I haven't played fighters in a little bit of time, but it's one of those things where you're gonna challenge me for 7% of your. Oh wow, I see. Um,
Do
so
you accept the duel?
sure, I'll accept the duel. I have so much money. Plus, I can change how much I own.
How much you have?
Yeah, Grease one. Wonderful. Cool.
Cool. Free money.
Free money. I can spread the wealth around.
You are the bank. You are the Department of Treasury. Don't
I
ruin the
am the
economy
I am the
now.
Treasury Department. Several two people have currently tried to destabilize the fembuck economy, and they won't allow it.
Oh.
So but you know, fighters is just I've just played it so much, and I've stopped playing fighting games competitively because it just makes me very upset and angry.
Yeah, I also see I like fighting games mainly because of that uh feeling when you first boot it up with a friend and none of you know what you're doing and you're like trying to figure out. I like that a lot more because it's fun for me to do stupid things in fighting games, and whether I get punished or it works, it always feels fun. But when you
Yeah.
start playing competitively, I feel pressure to go into the mindset of like what's more optimal, how do I do this and that, and it puts a strain on me. It just starts taking energy, and I just don't enjoy it as much. Not That's unrelated to the fact that I suck at fighters, but
Yeah, Fighters is an interesting game because it has the three charactered system,
yeah.
and so that's why I love Strive. But then again, the first Guilty Gear I learned to play was Guilty Gear 1, the very first one,
What?
and
The very first one, like the old one?
yeah, it was just called Guilty Gear.
Oh my god.
But that was because I played it with my other buddy who is actually in chat. Uh, he's the
Hello, buddy.
he's the one the pinned comment is that says, and so he taught me how to play Guilty Gear, and so like see Guilty Jank
Guilty Gear.
exactly.
Wait, I just want to make sure Guilty Gear, like the first one, was the one where it was what was it? What do they call it? The Kusage, the one where like everyone had infinites and whatnot.
Oh,
Am I thinking of that one, or
mm,
is it another one?
I have no idea. All I remember is that when I was playing Guilty Gear with him, like we probably spent a couple hours playing just Guilty Gear, and we're playing on his laptop, and it was the first Guilty Gear. It's basically every character's OP, and like
Mhm.
one specific character named Slayer is like the most OP in the game, and
Slayer the vampire
yes,
guy.
yes, that's him. And
Yes.
so let's just say that that game was incredibly unbalanced, and that's what made it so much fun. Was because if everybody's unbalanced, then nobody's unbalanced.
Then nobody's unbalanced.
And after that, then I went. Guilty Gear 1 had jank, but not as bad as some others. If you want to win, play Slayer's Soul and Dragon Install. Look, and that's the thing. People who play Strive, where the Strive was their first one, they main Soul because, excuse me, they main Soul because he's the poster child of Guilty Gear. I main
Yeah.
Soul because I've been playing him since the Guilty Gear 1.
You were the OG. You played him before it was cool.
And it's funny because when I started playing him, that was like in 2019. So it's not like I grew up. I was like a child when I played Guilty Gear 1. It's just when I started playing Guilty Gear, it was like a couple of years ago, and my very first exposure to Guilty Gear was Guilty Gear 1 because I had no idea it was a fighting game series. And
Yeah.
when like and then I learned, oh, We have Guilty Gear 2, Guilty Gear Xrd, Guilty Gear
Exert, Accent Core, whatever the hell
sure,
that long
sure.
title is.
And then I found out Strive was coming out, and apparently Strive was
Yeah.
supposed to be the nice revamp of the series. And so it did, and Strive is insanely popular. It's a very good game.
Strive is a very good game. I've heavily thought about getting it. My main
10 out of
concern is
10.
that I just haven't been playing as many fighting games as possible lately. So I feel like if I got it, because I only know 1 or 2 people that play it. I feel like if I got it, it would just sit gathering dust in my Steam library.
To be fair, a lot of my games these days, especially on my, because I played on my PlayStation. That's where I play fighters.
Mhm.
That's where I play like pretty much all my fighting games. I play on my console. Aside from one, and that is Melty Blood. Well, actually, no, 2. Melty Blood and Rivals of Aether, which I have on my computer, which
Oh
you know.
no! I was gonna ask if you wanted to play some fighters at some point, but I don't think there's crossplay.
I don't know. Strive
I don't
brought
think that-
GG into the mainstream anime fighters. I definitely agree with that. The reason I bring up Nico
I
is
think it
because-
brought them into. Oh, was DBFZ first for the anime fighters?
Oh,
I think so.
interesting, Nina. Interesting. Oh yeah, you get a lot of pressure to compete and stuff. Yeah, fighting games, they just take up a lot of mental, like, well, they take up a lot of aggression. Oh, my throat. I wonder if I'm losing my voice. Anyway,
Are you okay? I could go on a rant here if you want.
no,
on
you're
fighting games.
you are
whatever.
fine. Yeah, Strive is, I'd say, like I said, Strive is a very good game. Like, I've played a lot of fighting games in my life thus far. You know, and so, oh, what's going on, Manny? I played a lot of them in my life, and Strive is certainly, I think, top 3. Where I think if I was like in no particular order, top 3: Fighters, Strive, Brawl, Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
Yeah, Ultimate or like Melee or
No,
any specific
Super
one?
Smash Bros. Brawl is what it's called.
Oh,
For the
the Wii one,
The
right?
Wii one. Yep.
Oh my god,
I think
that brings back memories.
I think Brawl was the best one. Sure.
you will get
Sure.
crucified
I know.
on the
I know.
internet.
I know. The Ultimate is I think is the most balanced and most polished.
Mhm.
But in my opinion, it's the most. It's a round rock. It is essentially somebody took a rock, polished it down, grinded it down. It is all round, no edge. Whereas Brawl is the like jankiest, most beautiful, spiky, edged looking quartz crystal you've ever seen.
You know what? I gotta agree with you on this.
So, I think it's the best because it's so flawed. Like, the thing is that I've played Ultimate. Ultimate's a fun game. It's great. It's a great game. You know, the roster's incredible. So many things. You know, like I said, it's polished. It's good. If you throw that rock at somebody, it's gonna hurt them. But you throw that jagged crystal at someone, it's gonna do damage. And when it does, it's gonna look good. And that's why I like Brawl. Brawl is just, it sets itself apart because it doesn't try to be something it's not. Subspace Emissary is a beautiful creation. The
It
soundtrack.
should have been repeated. We didn't get it with Ultimate.
The-
World of Light is terrible. It could have been. Do you remember when Ultimate was coming out? And I think it was someone from Nintendo was like, we were gonna do a story mode, but we end up. I think it might have been for 4. I don't remember, or I don't remember it was for 4 or for Ultimate. But they were like, we're gonna do a story mode, but then things got leaked out, and then we completely canned the project. And I was like, no.
I just remember when I was in high school, my buddy had Smash on his 3DS, and he'd play that
Yeah.
nonstop. And we're even on we even went to on an orchestra trip together. Like he and I were buddies on it, and we went to it is not a geode, it's like a stone. That's what I'll say it. I mean, even if it was a geode, it's not being broken open. It's just round on the outside. Because at that point, if you break open The geode. Yeah, it's cool on the inside, but you no longer have like that rounded, like nicely formed rock. You just
An inverted geode.
You
All
have-
the spikes on the outside.
um. But yeah. Like dude was playing it non-stop. He was playing Smash on the 3DS non-stop the entire like 3 days. Like we were in Disneyland and he was just playing it like so much. And the thing is, he was just a Captain Falcon main. He would play nothing but Captain Falcon. And so if
Nice.
I remember the 3DS version or the 3DS and Wii U version, Captain Falcon was like really busted.
Yeah, he was very strong.
So, you know, Brawl's the best in my opinion. If somebody says something else, completely respect it. Brawl's my favorite. I think it's the best Smash because of how fun and how unique it is. It's a cultural icon.
It also had a lot like more realistic graphics in my opinion, if I remember correctly. Because I remember booting up Brawl and seeing the individual threads in Mario's overall and going, what the hell is going on with this game?
Look, Brawl had Snake. It didn't. Brawl introduced Snake, my favorite character in all of video games.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that Snake brought cake in that game.
But he lost the cake. He dropped it on the way to Ultimate.
He did. Let me see.
Dropped it, man.
For those that have not seen, allow me to show you. I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to show everyone on whoever is here. I'm going to show you this.
Show them perfection.
Show...
Let them witness it.
You shall see the pursuit of perfection lost. Ready? There you go.
Oh my god.
Look at that. Look at what we lost.
The biggest nerf in the business. Oh my god.
Look at that. That's just so sad. Like, Brawl has so much character. It's so good. And look at what we lost. He lost his definition. Man. He lost his muscles. He lost his bakery. It's gone. Like,
but I will say, Brawl it definitely had balancing issues.
Of course it did, but you're not playing it because it's a balanced game. You're playing it because it's fun.
Tell that to the FGC community.
Well, they can kick sand.
Yeah. They can go eat some sand.
Let me hold on. The one sound, like the one thing, that I want to play, is where is it? Is the load up, the startup sound. The startup sound is just so good.
For Brawl?
Yeah, I don't know how loud this is gonna be.
Okay.
Oh, how loud? Oh, all right. You ready?
Yep.
Beautiful. Mwah. Cinema. It's incredible.
I haven't heard that in a very long time.
Like, it's so good. Freaking love everything about it. I could go on and talk about it forever. But I will not. So
I just memories flooded into my brain for a quick second and I just got lost in them.
It's okay. It's okay. That happens. Nostalgia is the powerful drug. So, and then freaking Red Reaper's right. The choir when it hits the intro, just the intro is just like Ultimate is fine. Ultimate's theme is fine. It's okay. It's okay.
It's good, but it's good in a different way that doesn't suit Brawl, in my opinion. Like it doesn't. How do I say this?
Brawl feels like it's a kid's game, or not Brawl. Ultimate's theme feels like it's the opening to like a kid's game. Brawl feels like you're about to see a battle royale and people are going to effing die.
You summarized it better than I could myself. That is absolutely, yeah. No, because like it's the difference. Like Ultimate, you have one person singing, and it's good, it's great. But when the pseudo Latin choirs chimes in, you know something's gonna go down.
I could go on and talk about it forever, but I will not.
Shall we move on topics then?
Yes. Since we're only doing an hour, why don't we move
Mhm.
on to? And I apologize for.
No, it's fine.
And so, what do you say? What do you say in the future? We have you back on, and because
Oh.
we're only having you on for an hour, I will just for you, I will forego my 6-month rule, and so we can have you back on at a different time. You know, whether that's soon or whether that's when I come back from my trip. You know, if we have it on a different day, like say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I don't have anyone else scheduled for the VOD for the next few weeks. I just haven't scheduled anyone yet. We can do 2 hours like that. What do you say?
Hey, yeah, let's shake on it. Sure.
Yeah, you can't shake my hand, but yeah, we could shake on it.
Okay, well, I can throw a Dr. Pepper at you. Would that
Alright.
work?
Sure. There we go. So why don't we get on to our final 10 or our last questions,
Okay.
and then we shall.
I totally prepared for this.
Ballin'.
All right.
Booby cat, beautiful. Don't worry about it. Business, the art of the deal.
Not in the deal. Shake on it.
The art of the deal. So these
My
are.
God, it's even got a watermark. Sorry.
The tasteful thickness of it, the subtle off-white coloring.
Oh.
Let's see Paul Allen's VTuber talk show.
Oh God. No, let's not.
Val, are you okay? You're practically sweating over there.
Do you remember every line from that meme?
I've seen it so many times.
Oh. I gotta watch that movie at some point.
Eggshell white.
Eggshell white.
The raised lettering. The subtle off-white color. Texture. Anyway.
Val, stop. I'm losing my mind.
I've seen American Psycho only once, and I've seen that meme so many times.
Oh man.
All right.
Would you recommend American Psycho, by the way? Is that like an okay movie?
It's very hard to recommend that movie.
Really?
Not because it's bad, but because the quality, like the content, is just.
It's distasteful.
Well, it's not that it's distasteful. It's pretty well close to the book. I think I've never read the book. I've only seen the movie. But I thought it was a good movie. There are certainly moments where I'm just like, I'm gonna fast forward. I don't like this. But yeah, it's a movie of all time, but it is a very good Christian Bale movie, and I liked it. Not because the content, but because of the story.
Because of the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, these are 10 questions that were created by James Lipton, famous writer, actor, director, that he will often ask his guests at the end of his show inside the actor's studio. These questions have no right or wrong answers. These are simply for us to see what your reactions are. And for those that have not seen this before, I encourage you guys to play along and answer these questions in the chat. But if not, why don't we get started? So, Slurmpa, are you ready?
I am so ready.
Question 1, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word would be esoteric.
Why is that?
Esoteric is basically a word that describes the undescribable. It encaptures that wonder, and in my life personally, and I feel like in a lot of people's life, we gotta keep a little bit of wonder in our lives. We gotta remember that there's something completely unexplainable, like why my camera's freaking out, but completely unexplainable out there. Because when we think we've discovered everything, we get bored. And that's not okay. We gotta go out there and we gotta explore every single possibility. You gotta throw yourself into life with that same enthusiasm as anything out there. Also, there's a game called Esoteric Ebb. They have a demo out right now. Highly recommend it.
religion, philosophy, travel, space, politics, so many things that you need hope and wonder for, because if you don't, boy howdy.
It all falls apart. That's why you gotta keep a little bit of hope and wonder in.
A little bit of mysticism.
Yeah, yeah, and esoteric kind of encaptures that.
That's a good
in
word.
my opinion.
That's a good word. What is a word?
Thank you.
Excuse me. What is your least favorite word?
Skibbity.
Yeah, buddy.
Don't.
So, fun fact. I was
Yeah.
reading through a lot of my old messages with my twin brother, and I was reading through them, and there's this inside joke we had in high school. Bear in mind, I graduated in 2018, and
Mhm.
so, like, high school for me was 2014 to 2018. Peak internet humor, of course. Like the whole
Yeah.
adpocalypse of 2017. That was the whole
Uh-huh.
Jake Paul incident. You
Mhm.
know, December of 2017, start of 2018, or no, it was December. It was January of 2017 was when that happened. You know, so that's what I was dealing with in high school, and so, you know, not the point. The point is that there was this guy when I was in theater, just randomly when my brother was using the restroom, dude walks in, goes to what I assume to be a urinal, and just says skiddly bop bop. It just does it, you know, not skibbity, but just like skiddly bop bop, because he was in choir, and so just they use a lot of vocal scatting,
Yeah.
and so he just did that, like it reverberated. He thought he was alone. My brother's like, you good, bud? And dude was just taken aback by it. And so since then, that was always an inside joke. That was just the skibbity bop bop. And so that whole
Oh.
thing, and so it never occurred to me how much like that inside joke, for whatever
Yeah.
reason, became like just it, you know, we had no bearing in it. You know, we had no influence on all that. Just how funny that became, a like the whole
You
skibbity.
foretold. You got gifted. You and your brother got gifted with a gift from Apollo. You foresaw the
We
future,
foresaw the future, and it was terrible.
and it was yeah.
Yeah. So what turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
um. Okay, I'm gonna go with creatively here. So manga, anime, and well-written stories typically do that. Games that have wonderful stories. I could recommend a couple off the top of my head. Disco Elysium is wonderful.
It's on sale.
Typical. Yes, it is on sale. It is also mainly meant for the deranged and mentally ill. So go into it with some content warning. Uh, Witch Hat Atelier is a wonderful manga. Um, let's see what else. Dungeon Meshi is wonderful, but I believe most people have already seen it at this point.
I have not.
I think you. Aha. Okay,
It
you
is not,
should.
it is not on my list.
You gotta either read it or watch it. I highly recommend it. It takes the setting of D&D and asks the question. I think you might have already seen it.
Yeah.
How does it work? Like I think for me,
I'm not a
the
big D&D
biggest
guy.
huh?
I'm not a big D&D guy.
That's fine. That's fine. You'll get into it. It's funny.
That's, you have to have
But for
friends
me,
to play
I
D&D
think
with.
You know what? I got time. Let's make a new campaign.
Sorry, you continue.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I think for me, taking common concepts like dungeon crawlers and fantasy and adding a little tweak to them, or having, I mean, I am a fan of Goblin Slayer, and I think the characteristics of them do a wonderful job. But Dungeon Meshi gets the gears turning because it goes, hey, you're fighting monsters and whatnot. They don't just, like in video games, we always think of them, we kill them, they disappear, or they drop loot, right? But if you think about them biologically, like how do they actually work and function? What actually goes on there? And those sorts of situations I really do like. Kind of just take something that a lot of people overlook in terms of design and genre and then drills into that. I really do appreciate that. Otherwise, like fantastic art goes a long, long way. Even unusual. Like JJK has a very sketchy art style that I do appreciate.
I love JJK, and I say that because I
It's
have I have
amazing.
volumes 0 through 21 sitting on my shelf currently. So
Ooh. I don't know how many chapters that is, but I am quite impressed by that collection.
a lot.
That is a lot, yeah. I also, if any of you are familiar with the manga Beastars, that one I really do like. Uh, there's also, let me think, a Blue Period is a wonderful one. Stories that concern people on their journey to find their inspiration and their calling in life is also great. Blue Period talks about an artist that discovers their passion and also fiddles around with the helplessness. Because when you're a creative mind and you start going upwards, there's gonna be some.
I swapped the rock. Oh,
What is going on?
I apologize. I swapped the wrong thing. I thought I was in my browser. I've never had that happen before. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Oh, oh, no,
I'm
you're fine.
so
You're fine.
sorry.
No, no, you're absolutely fine.
Oh.
I'll just keep talking. I'm the voice from the void now. Don't worry about it.
Oh, sorry. Let me get that. Let
Uh,
me get that back up. There we go.
the void finally got me. And I'm back.
Oh, holy cow! I'm so sorry.
You're
That was so
absolutely
fun.
you're
Like
fine. You're
just
funny
so
as hell.
casually, just ends it there. I'm like, wait a minute. That's.
Oh, I was hiding under the table. Yeah, Nina's right. But Blue Period is like it. Okay, the creative thing. I felt that because with my model and the decision on how to go forward with my content, I feel like a lot of people get to that point where they get good enough where they're like, yeah, I know what to do. I just don't know where I want to take it now.
Yeah.
Also, I am a big fan of Zom 100.
I love Zom.
I saw that in the chat.
I just finished watching Zom 100 like the other day.
It's
like season 1.
amazing. I love those stories because it's like grab a new lease on life, that sort of situation.
Oh,
It
yeah.
always inspires me. It makes me want to actually go and do things. I love those stories where people get reinvigorated because I'm like, yeah, no, I can do that too. Let's go out there. Let's do some shit, you know?
Oh yeah, it's very good. All right, next question. What turns you off creatively, spiritually, emotionally?
When things are overhyped, that is unfortunately one that turns me off creatively.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know a lot of games, and if I get oversaturated in my feed, that will also make me veer away from that. So most like overexposure is the main answer for creatively. Getting drained of energy because of work. Having if I'm trying to if I'm not fully vibing with someone and I'm talking and they kind of cut me off, I will start
Oh,
to
like now? Sorry.
Yo.
Sorry.
In my head I was like, imagine if he did that and you did go for it, you bastard.
Sorry. That's what we call comedic timing.
Yeah, wonderful comedic timing. Oh my god. Oh, the next I can't think of any talk show host, and I don't want to say Jimmy Fallon because I feel like that would be an insult.
No, Jimmy Fallon is the Smash Ultimate of talk show hosts. A very safe bet where you can't go wrong, but if you want to do more outside of it, you're kind of putting your hopes a little too high.
Continuing on, when I do get interrupted and I often get my train of thoughts stopped, it does start to make me shut down emotionally. That's something I'm trying to work on because I know that oftentimes when I shut down, it will be very hard for me to get back up. So try not to get discouraged in everyday life and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
That's just something I'm working on.
Oh, don't trust me, I get it. My and people have seen this on stream for me is that something that's hard for me to kind of get over, and it's something I've just been slowly being better at, is whenever I'm talking and people talk over me or they interrupt me, I instantly restart the entire sentence I was saying. And even if I get interrupted like 3 times in a row, I'll always go back and restart my thought from the very beginning. And
My hand was clenched, trying not to interrupt you right at that moment. I'm sorry. Continue.
no, you're fine. You're fine. You know, if you did do it, it'd be funny. Um,
It would be a running joke.
it would be that's what we call comedic timing.
But
So yeah, no, I completely get it. It's just it's annoying. It's not fun to have to deal with.
it's not. It's really discouraging, and I absolutely sympathize with that. It also makes it at some point you just, I mean, it's you gotta, in my opinion, or from what I've heard, you feel disrespected, right? Like, because because you get talked over, you get interrupted. It's just a sign of disrespect, and if you're not friends with them, like we've talked for a bit, and I already vibe with you. If you interrupt
Give it
me, I
time.
don't mind. But if someone I didn't like or wasn't fully familiar with interrupted me, in my head I'm already like, man, this guy doesn't respect me, and I don't want to take up space and be rude and then shout over them. But if you don't do that, then you're not standing up for yourself, and that becomes a negative feedback cycle. And I'm learning to try and stop that and stand up for
Oh yeah,
myself.
yeah. It's hard. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of it honestly. I'm trying to think of it as if they really want to say something. It I can see that. At the same time, it does depend. As you know, it is a respect thing, and if it's important, they will say, "Hey, I really need to say this." You know, other than that, they're just being rude at that point.
Yeah.
All right, what is your favorite curse word?
Uh, how bad can we get on the show again? It's not gonna be slur.
I was gonna say, as long as it's not a slur.
um, that is more of my favorite curse word. Bastard.
Oh,
It's not. Yeah.
you know what's funny
Yeah.
is when I was being interviewed on this show,
Hmm.
that was also the word I chose. Just not used as much.
Hell yeah. It's not used as much, but it does. Like, it is significant. It's not common enough where it's like fuck or shit, but
Mm-hmm.
bastard, like a glorious bastard, inglorious bastard, charismatic bastard, feels like it's you're marking something, you know?
Yeah, I completely
Yeah.
understand that.
Yeah.
Where did my questions go? What
questions
sound or noise
go?
do you love? What sound or noise do you love?
Weirdly enough, when something snaps into place or snaps off, I
Mhm.
really do enjoy that. I I work in a factory, and oftentimes we're assembling stuff together, and when a part clicks with another, it kind of satisfies the spider inside my head.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Uh, Wet moist noises will make me irritated, but high pitched or like disruptive high pitched screeching noises also will screw with me.
The worms like the sound.
The worms,
Stick
the brain worms.
Stick like a studded stick in the ground and hit it, like rub it a couple times, and you'll bring all the worms to the all the worms to
I
the
don't-
yard.
I don't think I want to bring on the worms to the yard.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
A lot. I'd like to go into writing, voice acting. Video editing is not so much, but it's skills I'm picking up. So mainly writing, voice acting, possibly coding, but that's more something I'm actually considering pursuing at this point.
Oh, there's plenty of people on the server who have experience with all of those things.
Yeah. I should interact with the server more. I just don't, because I'm too shy.
A lot of people don't, so it's okay. People
Yeah.
just like to be a part of it. So
Yeah,
the brain worms.
it's
and
nice for me to do.
No, Nina. What profession would you not like to do?
What would I not like to do? Teaching.
Ooh.
That's what I've done before. I cannot do it. the kids are nice, don't get me wrong, but I'm too truthful, and I'm not a responsible enough person to look a child in the face and not end up insulting them at some point by accident. Yeah, I just like it's not. I also know I'm just not suited for that role. Other than that, politician, I feel like lies. I greatly dislike lies,
Yeah.
and I feel that politicians just build their entire thing up on that. So it's just it would just kill me on the inside.
Yeah. Well, you can be a truthful politician. It's just very hard.
It's hard, and then at that point you have the mental stress of trying to fulfill your promises, but every single person going up against you, it's rough.
Our very last question: if heaven exists, what would
Okay.
you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
What would I like to hear God say? Hmm. That's a very tough one actually, because assuming I get to the pearly gates, that means I'm dead. That means I don't really have any attachments at that point. There's not a lot of things that I like at that point. I would like to imagine that I don't have any more grudges. I don't have any more hang-ups. So I think the only thing I would really ask is it
Not
GIF or it?
not
Yeah.
so it's not if what you would say to God, it's what God would say to you.
What God would say to me?
Yes.
Oh, I heard that question wrong. What God would say to me?
Yes. So it's if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
What would I like to hear God say? Okay.
If heaven exists, of course.
If heaven exists. Okay. Two thoughts come up. One, you did a good job and like a pat on the back, or two, I want to see them stats. I want to see what I've done and how many of them I've done.
I like that second one. Well, there you go. Because we're gonna have you back on, I don't think we're gonna write out today. So I don't need to ask my last question. But yeah, thank you so much for choosing to be here. And we went a little bit over that hour, but that's okay.
We did, just by, another half an hour.
Yeah. So it's okay. I'll just deduct that from your time next time. So we're only doing another hour and 30.
Oh, no, it's fine.
So, allow me to address our chat real quick. For you guys that came by today, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Today was a really fun episode. And I hope you can join me for our next stream. I'm still trying to plan that out because I'm working a lot this next month. I'm going to try and stream.
You gotta make sure to get enough sleep, man.
Oh, I'm getting sleep. I'm getting sleep. I'm sleeping basically.
Yeah, well, how much?
I'm always getting 8 hours of sleep each night. So
Good.
And anytime I don't typically, recently I have not been gaming in my free time or just doing anything. When I have free time, I just typically spend the time sleeping. So, it's it averages out. It works out. So I'm gonna be trying to. I should be able to at least stream my Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday. So, and I'm gonna try and have the VOD, but if not, I'm sure people understand. It's just that the month of July is just going to be extremely busy for me.
Absolutely hectic.
So try and earn as much money as I can before I go on my trip to Japan. So
yeah.
But yeah, with that in mind, thank you so much for joining. And any last things to say before we head off?
Make sure to eat healthy, exercise well, sleep enough, and overthrow the government. That's all.
It is your constitutional right, but only when
it is your constitutional. You listen here,
but only. I mean, this is in America at least. Only if the government's not being right. Don't just go willy-nilly overthrowing the government. That is illegal. That is bad.
That is bad. Until you overthrow it, then it becomes free gray area.
Maybe don't overthrow the government. Overthrow the IRS, but don't overthrow the government. That's bad.
No, don't overthrow the IRS. Overthrow TurboTax. They're an absolute leech. Yes. No. Hold on. Wait. What is the Inuit? Inuit is the company. They lobby the government so that because the IRS has a form available for people to do their taxes online for free, but TurboTax and other companies are deliberately trying to stop that, and it is a drain on the economy of American people. And why am I?
And with that in mind, thank you so much for joining us. I hope to see you back here. You guys have a wonderful night. I will see
You
you.
can't silence the truth.
I will see you in the next stream. I'm dead. What is going on over there?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You guys have a
anyone is cracking in. Oh god.
You guys have a wonderful night. My name is Val. This has been Slurmpa, and this has been the VOD. Have a wonderful night. Goodbye.
Sleep well.